Today I'm going to show you the line of succession to the British throne. So basically we're going to be looking at the extended family tree of British royals, also known as the House of Windsor, and you're going to see a lot of familiar faces, but hopefully learn about a few lesser known members of the royal family as well. So of course the first set of individuals in the line of succession would be the direct descendants of the current monarch, Queen Elizabeth. And at the moment she has 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren, but she's about to have 2 new great-grandchildren. Most people are aware that Kate Middleton is expecting her 3rd child, but there's actually another great-grandchild on the way as well. So once those 2 babies are born, Queen Elizabeth would have a total of 19 direct descendants, and these would be the first 19 in the line of succession. So let's look at them in order. Of course, number 1 is Prince Charles. He's the Prince of Wales. He was previously married to Diana, who was known as the Princess of Wales. Now, Charles has several other titles, probably the most important of which is the Duke of Cornwall, and that's why his current wife Camilla uses the title Duchess of Cornwall. She doesn't use Princess of Wales out of respect for Diana. Now, second in line would be the eldest son of Charles and Diana. That would be Prince William, and he is known as the Duke of Cambridge and is married to Kate, or Catherine, who is known as the Duchess of Cambridge. Now, Catherine is not actually a princess. The term prince and princess are used for the children and grandchildren and sometimes great-grandchildren of the monarch. But when she becomes Princess of Wales, she then will become a princess. So that would be when Charles becomes king. Prince William would probably take the title Prince of Wales, and therefore Catherine would become Princess of Wales. So third in line is their eldest son, Prince George, and he's called of Cambridge after his father's title. And then next would be his younger sister, Princess Charlotte. And coming in at number 5 will be the new baby, who's expected pretty much any day now. At this point, when I'm recording this video, we don't know whether the new baby is going to be a boy or a girl, but it doesn't matter because a couple years ago, a law was passed so that males no longer take precedence in the line of succession. However, an important point is that this new law only applies to those born after the year 2011. So when this new baby arrives, if it's a boy or a girl, doesn't matter, that individual is going to come after Charlotte. But when we're looking at some of these other individuals, you'll notice that males still take precedence because most of these individuals, of course, born before the year 2011. Okay, so once this new baby is born, Prince Harry will be bumped down to a number 6. I should mention Harry's name is actually Henry, but everyone knows him as Harry, so I've called him Prince Harry here. And he, of course, is marrying Meghan Markle next month. Now, when they get married, the Queen will bestow upon them a new title, so he will become a Duke and Meghan will become a Duchess. Again, Meghan will not be a princess, she will be a Duchess. We don't know yet what that name will be. Some have speculated that it could be the Duke of Sussex. So we would have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but we will have to wait and see on that. Okay, so after these first 6 individuals, you'll notice here that we don't immediately go to the next child, which would be Princess Anne, was the 2nd child of Queen Elizabeth, but because of the previous rule that males take precedence, she gets skipped over and her descendants get skipped over, and the next person in line is the 2nd son or 3rd child of Queen Elizabeth, and that is Prince Andrew, the Duke of York. He was married to Sarah Ferguson, and she became the Duchess of York, but they have since divorced. They had 2 children. We have Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, and they are both known as being of York after their father's title. So they are number 8 and 9 in this list. And I'll point out Princess Eugenie is getting married later this year. Of course, this individual won't be in the line of succession. Only direct descendants are in the line. So after Andrew's family, the next child of Queen Elizabeth was Prince Edward. He's the 3rd son. Because he's male, again, he still takes precedence over his older sister Anne. He's known as the Earl of Wessex, and he's married to Sophie, who is the Countess of Wessex. Countess is the female counterpart of an Earl. Now, it was announced that upon the death of Prince Philip, and I think also after the death of Queen Elizabeth, Prince Edward will take the title Duke of Edinburgh. He will take his father's title, but that is yet to occur. So at the moment, he is known as the Earl of Wessex. And he has 2 children. His firstborn was a daughter, but both these children were born before 2011. So his younger son actually takes precedence in the line of succession. So he's number 11, and his older sister is number 12. Now, they had the right to use the title Prince and Princess, but it was decided by the parents that they would not take that title. So they have some lesser titles. And you'll notice here they use a surname Mountbatten Windsor. Of course, House of Windsor is the reigning royal house of the UK. Mountbatten is the house name that Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, uses. And so whenever the royal family has to use a surname, oftentimes they don't use surnames if they have other titles, but those individuals that do use a surname use the surname Mountbatten hyphenated with the name Windsor. Okay, so after Edward's family, now we get Princess Anne, who's known as the Princess Royal. Princess Royal is a title that is used for the eldest daughter of a monarch. And so she comes in at number 13. She was previously married to Mark Phillips. They divorced, and she remarried Timothy Lawrence. Her eldest son would come next. He's Peter Phillips. He's actually the eldest grandson of Queen Elizabeth. He was born before Prince William. But because he's not a direct male line descendant, his mother, of course, female, so he's down to number 14. He married a Canadian, Autumn Kelly. They have 2 children who would be 15 and 16. And then coming in at 17 would be his younger sister Zara, who married Mike Tyndall, a rugby player. And they have a daughter, Mia, who will be number 18 after the birth of this baby. And then she has a baby sister or brother on the way later this year, who would come in at number 19. So the first 19 individuals, all direct descendants of the current queen. Now, if we had to keep going after that, we would then have to go to the queen's late sister. So this blue section here, these letters here indicate the general precedence order. So A, these are all descendants of Queen Elizabeth. B, these are going to be the descendants of her sister, Princess Margaret, who was the Countess of Snowdon. And she passed away about a decade or so ago. So the next in line would be the current Earl of Snowdon, and that is her son David. So he would be number 20 in the line of succession, and his 2 children would come next. Charles, who's given the title Viscount, and his sister, Lady Margarita Armstrong-Jones. And then David has a younger sister, Lady Sarah Chatto. She would be number 23, and she and her husband have two sons. They would come in at number 24 and 25. Now on this particular chart, I've only numbered up to 25 because if I tried to keep numbering after that, I'd constantly have to keep changing this chart because new babies and children, are constantly being born. So from this point forward, we're just going to kind of look more in general about how the line of succession would go. So after the descendants of Princess Margaret, that would conclude all the descendants of King George VI, father of Queen Elizabeth and the previous monarch. So if we had to go further along the line of succession, we'd have to go up one level to King George's younger brothers, of course, who are now all deceased, but they do have descendants. At this point, I'll mention King George had an older brother who was King Edward VIII. He abdicated, he gave up the throne so that he could marry Wallis Simpson. And after he abdicated, he was known as the Duke of Windsor, and his wife was known as the Duchess of Windsor. They never did have any children, so there's no concern there over some sort of future dispute. And of course, they both have since passed away. But King George did have some younger brothers, and of course, as we mentioned, their descendants come first in the line of succession over the descendants of this older sister because of males taking precedence. So then the next person then, if we're looking for number 26, it would be the eldest surviving son of Prince Henry, who was the Duke of Gloucester. And so this C means that this individual and all of his descendants who are not listed here would then come next. Now, he did have an older brother who passed away relatively young, didn't have any descendants. So Prince Richard, the current Duke of Gloucester, is number 26. Again, we're assuming the birth of those two royal babies. And so then after him would come the eldest son of the next brother here. There was a Prince George, Duke of Kent, who was a younger brother of King George, and his eldest son then took his father's title after the father died. His name is Prince Edward, and he is the current Duke of Kent, and he has several descendants. So this D means that he and his descendants would then come next. He has a younger sister, who's the second child, but she got skipped over because of that former rule. So next in line would actually be the third child here, second son, Prince Michael of Kent. And then next would come the descendants of Prince Alexandra. She's known as the Honorable Lady Ogilvy. Her and her descendants would be next. Then only we get to the descendants of this individual, Mary, the former Princess Royal. She had two sons, so they have both passed away, but their descendants would then come next in line. This individual's descendants and then this individual's descendants. Now, there was one more child, a Prince John, who died as a young teenager, never had any children. Okay, so after these descendants, if we still want to keep going, we then have to bump up one more level to some younger children, all daughters of King Edward VII. I'll note here there was an older brother here who died actually before even Queen Victoria died. So this individual here would have become king but passed away, and so it was actually the second son, King George V, who became the king. But we're here tracing the line of succession through various descendants. So we've already dealt with all the descendants of King George V. So if we want to continue, we have to then go to his first younger sister, who was Louise. She was also a princess royal. Next would come her descendants. She, of course, all of these individuals, you can see they're shaded out. That indicates that they have all passed away. And then after her descendants would come the descendants of this daughter. This woman here did not have any children. Now, this daughter of King Edward VII married the King of Norway, and this is where it becomes a little bit interesting, because amongst this person's descendants, in fact, the most senior descendant of this individual is the current King of Norway. So the current King of Norway is in the line of succession to the throne of the United Kingdom. Now, of course, we haven't been numbering things here because we have a lot of children and grandchildren. So by the time we get up to this part of the line of succession, I believe we're probably in the 70s or 80s now. So he's pretty far down there in the line of succession. Okay, so that is the line of succession to the British throne. If you want a copy of this graphic, it's available for free as a download. You can download it from my website. The link is in the description.